Drive podcast.
All right, welcome back for another episode 185 here on the Outdoor Drive podcast. This is your boy East Coast Trev, and I'm joined by my good buddy Mr. Madman Mardick.
What up?
What up, buddy? What is going on, dude? We just got home from New York. This is good. We had a great time at the Big East Camping and Outdoor Show with the boys up there, and it was awesome. I can't thank Ian and Frank for letting us come up there from the beaten path, off the beaten path. It was a great show. It was fun, very intimate show. It was spread out and done very well, in my opinion, honestly.
Great show. I had a blast up there. I'm glad we did it.
And I mean, the people kept rolling in, and
Steady.
the numbers were good.
Steady flow.
We got to go to the Tin Rooster and all those good things that were going on down there. I mean, it was a fun place. It was a fun weekend. You missed out on sushi though on Friday night, dude. I'm telling you what. Let me tell you, Primo Supremo.
Yeah, that's good for you. I'm all set with that. That's bait.
You don't like
You
sushi?
put sushi on a hook and catch bigger fish with it.
No. They are the big fish.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I mean bluefin tuna. What's bigger than a bluefin tuna?
I don't know. I don't eat that shit, so I wouldn't know.
Well, maybe you should broaden your horizons.
I'm a T-bone or ribeye kind of guy.
Yeah, you also drink Starbucks coffee, bro.
Yeah, but I also don't.
You're very basic.
I also don't lose my keys in the morning after a rager.
It's your car ate them, dude. What do you want from me? I mean, like, what do you think this is?
All I know is come Sunday morning, I was rip-roaring, ready to go, ready to slay the day, and you were lagging a little bit behind. So, hand me another coffee, buddy.
I'm just letting you know that the Michelob Ultras in New York, they just hit a little bit harder, okay?
Yeah. What a good time, though. I don't regret that
They
at
were
all.
16 ounces. They weren't 12.
Yeah, but it's light beer. It's like water.
I didn't say that it wasn't, but when never mind. Enough of this crap. Anyways.
Listen, party season's coming down to an end for you there, buddy. We got one more show left to do. And what a good show season we had, though. You know,
Fantastic.
We were talking about that the other day.
Absolutely.
We didn't really plan our show season. It just kind of fell into our lap the way it laid out. But, I mean, right from the get-go, we pretty much had a show every other weekend, starting back at Harrisburg. You know,
Yeah.
Springfield was a great show. And then we went up to the one at Turning Stone, and then we got Mohegan Sun on the home stretch here. But dude,
super blessed.
We crushed it.
Super blessed with the opportunities from all of the people from every single show, you know, that we started with, and been able and invited to every single one of them, and getting to meet everybody and the people and the connections and the listeners and followers and stuff that we were able to shake hands with and spend time with and everything. I mean, it was insane. It was absolutely insane, and super thankful for every single person that has invited us to one of their shows. I mean, it's been a great show season. My liver probably wants it over, though.
Yeah, you and your drinking. It's all right, though. You'll tone it down here.
Okay, whatever you say. I don't know why you're being so negative about this. This is not a laughing matter.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyways, dude, do you have a killer's corner?
Let's reel this back in. I got a short one here. Tom Aligio with a busy day. I think it was a beaver, an otter, and a coyote. And that's all I got for killers.
No, I got a good killers because and it wasn't one on the thing, but our buddy Manish has been doing pretty good over there. He killed something a little bit ago. He killed some green-winged teals and some other stuff. Good to him and Gerald. Congratulations to them. They are not on social media, so they couldn't share it. And then not only that, Mr. Chris Brockett just hit number 40 on the trap line, me and him. So 40 beavers, and he's up to 6 otters.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then
56 pounds he broke today. So
are you done? This is my segment.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Well, do it right.
Well, you're just jumping in here. So anyways, another big shout out I got for Jeremy McGillicuddy. Came all the way from Connecticut to come see us at the show in New York this weekend.
Yeah,
So
he
that
brought
was
his mom and brother.
Mom and brother, yep. So big shout out to you guys. It was good seeing you guys, and hope you enjoyed your time at the casino. And then Adam Hart came down, and we hadn't met him before, but he's a big listener and big follower and supporter. And he spent quite a bit of time Saturday hanging out with us at the show and just telling stories and sharing trail camera pictures. And I had a great time with him. So shout out to you, Adam. Thanks for coming down and spending time with us. And it was a pleasure to meet you, bud.
Yeah, thanks for guys for coming down. I really appreciate it. I really do.
And then another shout out for all the new listeners, because like we just said, all the shows that we've done this year and all the new people that we've connected with and handing out business cards and telling people who we are and what we do.
New stickers.
I'm sure there's some new listeners listening right now that this might be your first episode that you might have met us at a show. So thank you for checking us out.
Absolutely. While we're thanking people, let's thank some sponsors. First off, we are brought to you and title sponsored by Huntworth, huntworthgear.com. Guys, go and check them out. Now's the time to get your Huntworth gear. Spring season is right around the corner. Get your Durham, your early season turkey gear, because phenomenal in the turkey woods. When you need to, it's 3-layered. It's where it's at. The early season stuff is phenomenal. So get on over there and check that stuff out. Nor'easter Game Calls, nor'eastergamecalls.com. Actually, Mark, and I'll let you guys in on a little bit of secret, is about to release a new website. Going to be a very early, easy thing to use. The ton of new stuff is going up on there. We have an outdoor series that's it's the Windbreaker series, and it has our logo in the center of it. Obviously, the Thin series, all of our mouth calls, Tools of the Trade are all new, box calls with new logos on them. Get on over to nor'eastergamecalls.com and get those calls. They are on ready to kill gobblers. Also, Zeus Broadheads, zeusbroadheads.com or neweraarchery.com. You can type in either or, get on over there. You can get all your broadhead needs from our man over there at Zeus Broadheads, Mr. Nick Albanese.
We've seen him at the show this weekend.
Yeah,
too.
dude, he come up and hang out with us, and his son was going back to the Marines, so he had to leave early and stuff. So, thanks for the service. Thanks to all you guys for your service. I mean, it's greatly appreciated, and all of that. And not only that, but sponsors. This new segment is brought to you by Bowhunters United. We are now partners with Bowhunters United, so we can't thank you guys at Bowhunters United for partnering up with us and making the News for Your Cruise possible. So let's get on over and see our good buddy, Mr. Mike Salter.
All right, guys, why don't we buckle up and see what's going on in the world of news with Mr. Mike Salter.
Hey everyone, we're going to start this one off in Utah, where the Division of Wildlife Resources is asking anglers to target and remove specific fish species in 3 water bodies. First, northern pike in Utah Lake. Pike are concerned due to their potential impact to sport fish in the lake, such as walleye, white bass, and yellow perch. Any untagged pike caught must be killed. Any tagged pike must be reported to DNR and released as part of an ongoing study. Second is small lake trout under 25 inches at Flaming Gorge Reservoir. This area is known for some of the largest lake trout in the U.S., but too many small lake trout are present, and if not reduced, could impact salmon and rainbow trout populations, as well as result in fewer fish being available to feed the trophy lake trout. There are also tagged lake trout in the reservoir, which need to be reported if caught. Some of these targeted fish have rewards of up to $50 for anglers. And third is carp from Pelican Lake. This is an effort to restore the bluegill and bass fishery that has been impacted by the dramatic increase in common carp. To incentivize anglers here, the DWR has tagged carp in the lake and has been offering rewards for anglers who turn in carp with reward tags. Now to Pennsylvania, where the Game Commission will be hosting meetings for residents to learn about and discuss the possible reintroduction of American marten to the state. The Commission has been exploring reintroduction and has found that martens would have sufficient habitat and pose little to no risk to other species. The Commission has finished a reintroduction feasibility assessment and is now drafting a plan for reintroduction. Free presentations will be held for residents on March 18th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. at Elk Country Visitor Center in Benzett. March 20th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at Tioga County Fairgrounds in Wellsboro. March 21st from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at Center County Recycling and Reuse Authority in Bellfront. And March 30th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the Game Commission Northeast Region office in Dallas. No RSVPs are needed to attend these. The Game Commission has said that after a management plan is done, the plan will be presented to the agency's Board of Commissioners, who could then open a 60-day public comment period. So be on the lookout for these next steps. Now to Virginia, where the results are now available from the DWR's 2022-23 CWD surveillance from the 3 CWD disease management areas. DMA 1 had 31 of 435 deer tested positive for CWD. And based on the results, no changes are expected to DMA 1 for the 23-24 deer season. DMA 2 had 5 of 1,638 deer tested positive and 1 deer just outside of DMA 2. As a result, DMA 2 will be expanded to cover Fairfax, Prince William, and Arlington counties for the 23 and 24 deer season. Regulations in these counties will take effect on May 1st of this year and will include prohibitions for white-tailed deer fawn rehabilitation and restricted carcass transport. DMA 3 had 8 of 1,170 deer test positive for CWD, including the first in Pulaski County, resulting in Surrey, North Carolina, and Patrick counties being added to DMA 3 for the 23-24 deer season, with the same regulations taking effect May 1st. Also, since feeding deer is prohibited within 25 miles of a CWD detection, effective immediately, Augusta and Fluvanna counties have been added to the year-round feeding ban. Now to Maine, where on March 6th, the Maine Joint Committee on Education and Public Affairs hosted a hearing on SP 130, which would require the University of Maine system and Maine Community College system to offer a 4-credit course on hunting, fishing, recreational shooting, and trapping. Legislative initiatives such as this are key for recruitment, retention, and reactivation of sportsmen and women, and introducing these activities at any age can help prevent further decline. So reach out to your legislators to support SP 130 in Maine. Now to Indiana, and an opportunity for youth turkey hunters. Indiana's youth reserve turkey hunt applications open on March 20th and are open until March 31st. Youth under the age of 18, the day of the hunt, may apply for these reserved youth hunts on DNR properties during the youth season, which runs on April 22nd and 23rd. Interested youth hunters or an adult representing them must register in person or by phone during regular office hours for the property that they wish to hunt. Hunters are only allowed to register for one property, and there are limits on the number of hunters allowed to hunt each property each day. So a drawing will be held on April 3rd at properties where the number of youth hunters exceeds the spots available. Hunters may be drawn for one or both hunt days, depending on the number of applicants. In order to register for the youth hunt, you will need the hunter's name, license type, and number, hunt dates, mailing address, phone number, and the parent or guardian's name, address, and phone number. So a good opportunity there for the youth. Lastly, to Vermont, an opportunity for deer hunters. A Tracking the White-tailed Deer seminar and breakfast will be held by Rodney Elmer and the Mountain Deer Wolfpack at the Lamoille Valley Church of the Nazarene on Route 15 in Johnston. Doors will open at 8 a.m. With the seminar starting at 9:30. The cost is $10 for adults and $5 for those 12 and under. Space is limited to 150, and door prizes will be awarded. To register for that, call 802-635-2988. As always, if you have any news to send along to me, it'd be greatly appreciated. Reach out to me at Mike Salter on Facebook or beard_bowhunter21 on Instagram. And with that, enjoy the rest of your ride.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Bowhunters United. If you guys aren't members yet, we will actually, after this podcast clears, we are going to have a special link to go and get it. To go and get your membership actually through us, because we are actually working with them on an affiliate program. So if you sign up through us, then we get a little kickback, like salesmen. So go get that stuff, and then we get some stuff, and everybody gets some stuff, and everybody, you know what I'm saying. But anyways, get on over there. We'll post up the link in all the groups and everything so you guys can sign up for Bowhunters United. I think it's a very important thing, and Aimie kind of tails into it and what it is and how important it actually is. She does a way better job. I'm not going to break down on it. I think we should just let her tell the story. But, guys, don't miss out. This coming up weekend, the 24th, 25th, and 26th, we are at the Connecticut Outdoor and Fishing Show here at Mohegan Sun. We will be in the back with Real Outdoors TV. Most of the boys will be here. We'll be hanging out all weekend. We might even have some special stuff going on in the booth. So come on and stop by. Come and hang out with us. Bring us some bush lights.
Might be an after party.
Oh, well,
I
wasn't gonna say that.
If you're gonna be around,
I wasn't gonna say that.
It might be a little secret society after party, but if you're around Saturday night and wanna Want a little invite or something, holla at your boy.
Yeah, get a hold of us. We might be doing something a little bit special on the down low, on the backside of that. But yeah, bring us some beers. We'll be hanging out in the booth. We like Michelob Ultras. Well, I do.
Bring me a coffee.
Bring Martic a coffee. He's gonna need it to have to deal with me.
I was gonna say it if you didn't.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. But more or less, dude, let's get on. Let's get Aimie on this thing and let's get this thing under the way. What do you think?
Yeah, this
bud?
is a good one. This is a good one for the people to see what this is all about, because I think what they're doing over there is fantastic.
Yeah. I think everybody should be a member of Bowhunters
100%.
in my opinion, and I think that there's a lot of gain for being a member. I mean, as an outdoorsman, as a hunter, you were part of the NRA, you were part of NDA, QDMA. I mean, NWTF, DU. It's one and the same. These people advocate for everything that you got going on, and you get a nice little hat and some stickers too. And Aimie will go into that, but let's get on the line.
Just let Aimie talk.
All right, fine. All right, I'm on it. Let her go. All right, we're back on the phone with Aimie from Bowhunters United. How we doing, Aimie?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. We appreciate you jumping on with us.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, it was a pleasure meeting you down in Harrisburg show, and we got to talking, and things kind of started moving very rapidly, and we have some really good news for everybody by the end of this podcast. But super excited.
It was a good time.
Yeah,
good time.
Well, why don't we take no further ado? Why don't we turn this key? Why don't you tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Aimie Lanig, and I am from Herman, Missouri. I am the Archery Trade Association's Marketing and Communications Manager, and I run our brand Bowhunters United, which is a nonprofit extension of ATA.
So how did you get all involved with them and Bowhunters United?
How did I get involved with them? So kind of my backstory before this is I've always been somebody who loves to be outdoors. I've always been like a tomboy. And so for all throughout high school and college, I was a butcher. So I worked at two different meat processing plants. And one of the big plants that I worked at, we did a lot of deer processing. So I had a lot of background in that, and then hunting and things on the side. And then I went into the firearms industry because I went to school for agriculture marketing, but ended in firearms. So I was in the firearms industry for about 1.5 years. And then I came along the ATA and I was like, well, what's better than meat, guns, now bows? So now I'm here, and yeah, we launched the brand of Bowhunters United in 2020. And, as you know, that was a horrible year to launch the brand. But they kind of brought me in to kind of help boost the brand and gain awareness.
That's awesome. I mean, we might as well go right into it. What is Bowhunters United? Because I bet you people are kind of sitting there listening and being like, what is Bowhunters United? They might not have heard of it.
Yeah, so Bowhunters United is a national organization for bringing bow hunters together. So no matter how you participate, whether it be crossbows, recurves, or compounds, we're the organization for you. We serve at the state and federal level to protect bow hunters' rights and expand opportunities. So all of our members have access to our action alert system, which is we do all the heavy lifting over at ATA and Bowhunters United. So we do all the research on the bills kind of coming up to the legislation table. And we get our members involved by sending them a notification and saying, hey, this is kind of the bill that's going on. Here's how we need you to take action. So members throw in their name, email address, and their address. And then we give you a pre-written message saying, hey, local legislator, please support this bill because it benefits conservation. Or B, please don't support this bill because it infringes on my bow hunting rights. And it gets all of our members involved in taking action for where they're located in the United States.
So is it a sister company of ATA, or what is because you had mentioned ATA, so I didn't know the connection between the two of them.
Yeah, so we're owned and operated by the ATA, and we're their nonprofit organization.
Okay. So, and for those that don't know, it's the Archery Trade Association is what ATA is.
Yeah, and ATA is the industry's kind of connection for all things archery. So we bring together all the retailers, manufacturers, distributors, media. And every year we have like a big trade show, and all of the new products of the year are shown off at it. And it just gets our community of archery together in one place to be the industry spokesperson. So
I guess the ones that do know about it know it as the ATA show. Like for like me, I wouldn't even know what ATA. Well, I mean I do, but like I wouldn't know what ATA is. The only thing I would think of is the ATA show once a year, knowing that all the media groups are going to be there to put out the new products for the year. That's like what I think about ATA.
Right.
But a lot of people don't realize what they do on the legislative side also, which would be you guys.
yeah. So usually people think the ATA 365 days a year we work on the trade show. We're not only working on the trade show, we have a lot of talented folks. So we run a lot of different programs to get, archery ranges in different towns, and help expand bow hunters and all of the people in archery, and help our retailers. And we're here to help the industry grow and to expand the sport. So we have a lot of different educational programs for kids, the ranges, like I said. And then also like on the retailer side, we have bow technician courses to help bow techs gain the skills that they need to have bows operate and fix them and things like that. So we got a lot going on over at ATA, just other than the trade show.
Which is kind of crazy. So then what is the tie-in with Bowhunters United then? What does Bowhunters United do on the 365?
So Bowhunters United, what we do 365 days a year is we are, working at ATA with ATA at the state and federal level. So we have two guys that are working on advocacy, and they serve at that national level, and then with our state agencies. So we have contacts in all these different states. And so we get an inside scoop on that. And then we have a lot of different partnerships. So the big perk of being tied to the ATA with Bowhunters United is the perk of having an inside look on the industry that no other organization has. So with that perk comes, we have a bunch of partners, and they offer all of our members a bunch of rebates and discounts on all the gear, bows, arrows, like you name it, we probably have a discount for it. And then we are partnered with Deer and Deer Hunting this year. So all of our members get 6 magazines where it has our exclusive content in it. And then hat, cap, stickers, decals. And then we have a big sweepstakes with all of our partners in the industry where we're giving away in December 12 big bow packages with like all the bells and whistles all loaded out. So really excited about that. But that's kind of what is entailed in having that connection with ATA, is just like the connection with all of the partners and industry.
So how does somebody go about getting involved with, or, being a member of Bowhunters United?
So you can become a member with Bowhunters United by visiting our bowhuntersunited.com website. We have a join form there where you can join, or you can visit us on social media. And like the big thing with Bowhunters United is our membership. We're offering it right now for $25. Usually it's $30. And that $25 is not going towards all the tangible items like the free hat, the decals, the stickers, the entrance into the sweepstake. It's not going towards the tangible items. The $25 is going to impact our role at the state and federal level to protect bow hunters' rights and preserve the sport for future generations to come. And
so what do they get when they become a member?
What do you get when you become a member?
So like if I was to sign up today, what would happen?
What would happen? So we would send you a member packet, and your member packet would have all of the information on all of the great deals that you get with the industry, as well as you get your free hat. You get some decals for your bow case and coolers and things like that. You get entered into our sweepstakes, so you have a chance to win those 12 big bow packages. And then we've got like 70 other Bowhunters United prizes going out with that. And then you get our monthly e-newsletter, which we cover all of the inside scoop on what's happening on the archery industry and, bow hunting tips and tactics that are happening. You get access to our Bowhunters United resource library, where we come out with 2 to 3 articles per week on things happening in the bow hunting world and how to excel and amplify your game. What else am I missing? Oh, and you get action alerts for all of these different advocacy and things because, at the legislation table, there's a lot going on all the time and it's hard to keep up with. Kind of what we've talked with Mike about. It's just a lot happening all the time. So one of the main benefits towards our members is, getting notified when pressing things come to the table and that they can make an impact.
Which I think is a real important thing. Because I think a lot of people, the average Joes, they might not know the things that are going on at a higher level. They might hear from their friends, oh, they're trying to pass such and such a law in Utah for archers. But that's only if they're connected with other people, if they're in game clubs, so on and so forth. And some of this stuff, and we try to bring it out in the news for the crews, to kind of get people aware of what's actually going on around you, because we're so narrow-minded in just the state that we're living in that some of these other states have a lot of stuff that's going on in them.
Right. And you hear a lot of word of mouth things people talking about, oh, well, this is happening, but there's no call to action. What are you going to do about it? So we provide that avenue for you to do something about it and to make an impact and let your legislators know what you want without you having to do the heavy work of doing all the research and crafting this big message to this legislator that you want to take very seriously. It's just you put in your information just like you're shopping and you send it away.
Which and people could help other people in other states doing this too. It's not
right.
just not Missouri or not Connecticut, but we could help people in Arizona or Texas or Florida or whatever with whatever they're battling, because I know this is going to be kind of cliche. We have to unite together as bow hunters to be able to do this.
Well played.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, the thing, like you said before, though, a lot of people, they don't care about another state because, it doesn't affect me. I don't care what they do in Arizona. And that's a terrible mindset because it's a snowball effect. What happens there, it just builds momentum and can happen anywhere.
Absolutely. Yep.
And it's the same with us. Go ahead.
So it's just if they're going to ban hunting in one state, you're like, oh yeah, who cares? But what if you're next?
Right.
What if you're in Oregon, they're trying to ban hunting? State next over, you could be next. Who knows?
Well, it's a learn by example thing with a lot of those laws where we see it, especially, and I hate to talk like this, but so California, if they start in California, that it's coming to New England. Hands down, no questions asked. If something is happening in California, it's lead by example where they see something happen and then they bring it down to another state. I mean, look at some of these states, these hunting states like Utah, outlawing trail cameras. It's not long for some of the western states to pick up on that, and then it spreads out to the eastern states where we're going to end up being affected by this. And if we don't help each other in passing these laws that help us, then we're going to be in a lot of trouble down the line.
Right. And I also feel with passing different things to help hunting and preserve conservation and things like that, it's creating a barrier to these anti-hunters and animal activists. And so if we can get more people to get on board for these different things that benefit your right to hunt, then it's creating that barrier and it's showing as an example to other states oh, well, this is what they're doing and this is how it's going for them. And so it's just another prime example that if we have multiple people in numbers, then it's strategically going to win for bow hunting rights.
And I don't know what it is about sportsmen but sometimes they seem to not. I can't do it again. They can't unite together because what ends up happening is a lot of the antis or the animal activists, they'll band together, strictly band together, strong. I know we're going through this big bear thing here in Connecticut where they're trying to pass this bear season, and I'll tell you what, it's a 5-1, antis to conservationists, and it's almost sad that the hunters as a whole, we're getting attacked more from the inside out than we are the outside in. And it's kind of because they don't seem to be able to band together and help one another. They want to kind of attack each other. So something like this where there's proven facts that are mailed to them or emailed to them regularly, then they know that they have to act on it right off the bat by being a member.
Right.
Which is
absolutely.
It's important. It really honestly is. I mean, if I see it and you guys are doing the work for us, where those rules or those things that are coming to the table are brought to your attention, and all you literally need to do is just sign the thing and then send it to wherever. It's not that hard, and it makes it. You're making it literally the easiest way you possibly can to write to legislative. And like, I can't write a letter. I'm horrible at that stuff. Like, I don't know half the 135 CBDA. Like, I don't know none of that stuff or what it is, and that's something that you guys do to make it easy for everybody else.
For sure. Yeah.
And that's, I mean, what do you think, Steve?
I love it.
I think it's a great thing. I honestly do. Like, Bowhunting United as a whole, it's a no-brainer, honestly, to be a member for $25. Really, like, well, it's $25. I could spend that on Knox.
Yeah. And like you're talking about with like these animal activists, like banding together, we need to do the same.
Right.
And, they have a bunch of funding, like they're all throwing their money towards all of their initiatives to ban hunting and, the furs and all that fun stuff. But we need to do the same. It's $25.
It's nothing. We spend more than that on broadheads than we do anything.
Well, like Aimie said earlier, the $25 is not going to tangible items, but the hat you get with your membership is worth $25.
Uh-huh.
So right away, that's not to mention the sticker and all that other stuff. So like you're getting your tangible items that's worth more than the $25 that you put towards the membership. It's really a no-brainer.
It really is, honestly.
Right.
It's it's worth every penny to me. I mean, the hat alone, like I'd buy the hat for $25.
Absolutely.
So where does that? So then, if it doesn't go towards the tangible items, like what else does it go toward? That $25 go towards?
It's just acting at the legislation level and like being involved in like the action alert system.
So it just it literally goes back into itself.
Now, is there other ways or avenues to donate more? I imagine.
Yes. On our website, there's a donation link, and you can go to that and donate there.
Cool.
At bowhuntersunited.com.
And only just to build the organization bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
I think we should talk about the News for Your Cruise.
Yeah, let's do it.
Might as
I'm
well
all
get
about
right
it.
to it.
So do you want to lead into it? So we ended up partnering with Bowhunters United to sponsor the News for Your Cruise, or partner with this News for Your Cruise, kind of to so that we could bring all of this stuff to the table right here on the Outdoor Drive. Which is cool, which is awesome, because now Mike is able to kind of play forth some of the stuff from you guys right into the podcast, so you guys can hear it every single week instead of having to wait for those emails to come out to you or whatever the case may be. Now it's right here on the Outdoor Drive. So we really appreciate it, honestly, because now that stuff is right at Mike's fingertips.
Yeah, we're really excited. And like I said, it's just a lot to keep up with. And, if we band together and help each other in this industry, I think that we can bring awareness to some very important items that all impact us. And we're just excited to share the word of it. So thank you guys for kind of partnering with us.
No, I mean, it's the least that we can do.
Yeah, I thought it was a perfect pair. When we met you at Harrisburg, well, the second time we met you at Harrisburg at the show, you asked us about what we do, and you started telling us what you do, and like right away it clicked. I was like, listen, we have a news segment every week. Like this, I see something, and it didn't take long for us all to figure out how this could all tie together very easily. And I mean, it worked out perfect.
Yeah. It helps out Mike too.
Yeah, because Mike's working all the time trying to, he's got all these different avenues and websites and places to check, and he's always putting the news together to come out every week. And now this is just another avenue where Bowhunter United will send him news and important legislation right to him, and it just cuts a lot of the work away from Mike to putting that all together.
And it is really nice because Mike has also been sending us some topics happening in your guys' state that aren't like covered like super heavily. And like, we're like, oh, this is happening too. So then it's kind of a mutual benefit to both of us because then we can bring awareness to all the issues that we're both trying to find.
Mm-hmm. And is that another thing that as a member, like you can bring forth some of that stuff to you guys about some of the things to help them fight for that stuff as a member?
Yep, you can message us, whether it be on social media or on our website. But yeah, we're definitely open to taking any and all issues happening in your state.
Because I know like QDMA, when I was a member with those guys, they would do stuff like that. Like they would help fight against some of the things that to fight. I mean, obviously they're a giant organization, and they would literally band together with all of the states and all the people in QDMA to literally fight for things like, you know, if we wanted to bring up Sunday hunting or whatever the case may be to kind of grow those things. And I would imagine that you guys would just bring attention to it and send it out as an email blast or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Yeah. And we do a lot like other than just emails, like and bombarding you with all the different emails. We also do a lot on social media just to bring awareness because I feel like our generation is more on social media than their email. So we kind of just raise awareness through email and social.
Which I think is smart.
Absolutely.
Like, because that again could go viral to a bunch of other people that may not be members also. Where people need to, or they share it on their Facebook page or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Because an email blast, like how many email blasts do you listen? I mean, do you read? Like when I get an email blast, I'm like, it's another email blast, you know? Because it's like the time. It's not like, I don't know. I'm thinking of like the old person that's in the corner reading the newspaper when I think of email blast. Like I think that I'm that person. Oh, I got to sit over here and read my emails. Like, you know, like not to talk down on anybody, but like that's what I think about when it comes to emails. I'm like, oh man, it's like reading the obituary.
Well,
you got a bunch of things to read over here.
In all honesty, it's no different than social media when it's called the news feed. You're scrolling through your news feed. So, I mean, what's the difference whether it's a Facebook post or an email? It's the same thing. You still look like an old man in the corner.
Yeah, exactly right.
But the good thing about the social media, like having the stuff posted in a news feed, it's a lot easier for people to see, people to like, and then people can share it. And I think it just gets out there more than, like you said, just thumbing through an email and reading it, and then it just dies there.
Yeah. No, I totally
People
agree.
are more.
Because the overall goal is to get a lot of action.
Right.
And get like legislators to know what their people want. So
what is some of the team members that are part of the Bowhunters United and what do they do? So that kind of people can kind of get to know that you guys a little bit more.
Yeah, so I am kind of like our main point contact for Bowhunters United. So I handle everything from, you know, all the member benefits, social media, you know, taking care of customer orders and things like that. We have a pretty small team on ATA side. We have about like 15 folks in all different areas of the U.S. So I think that's kind of unique. And, you know, a lot of our team brings to the table a lot of different ideas and a lot of different connections and partnerships. One gal I will note, we have Sarah, and she's in our office. She's our only person in the office in Minnesota at ATA headquarters. And so she is the person who's always sending out all of the mail, sending all of those member packets in the mail and things like that. So she's a one-man band over there that kind of just takes care of all of the mail and shipping all of their members their items. So she is like a very valuable asset to us. And then I will say our CEO, Jeff Poole, has really came in and shined a light on Bowhunters United and is very passionate about protecting bowhunters' rights and, you know, making an impact for our industry.
That's awesome. And then there's obviously people that are just looking for the legislative stuff all the time.
Right. Yeah. And so on the legislation side, we have Dan and we have Josh. And so Dan is our chief of conservation. So he's like working at that national level and, with senators and things like that. And then we have Josh Gold, who is he's working at like the state agency level. So he's talking with all of them about regulations and pulling all these advocacy items and like learning and listening to what's happening and what we need to do about it.
So it seems like you have a dream team to fight against everything. And
Yeah.
I mean, Sarah over there sending out everything and whatever.
Yeah. Here's your hat. A cat for you. A cat for you.
Everybody gets a hat.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny at the last show was it this weekend? The kid that had walked by and he was wearing a Bowhunters United hat, and we were like, "Bro, where'd you get that?" And because obviously we knew what it was, and what did he end up saying? I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
You said, he said nice hat, and the kid didn't even really recognize it. We're like, "Dude, you're wearing a Bowhunters United hat," and he was like, "Oh yeah, and he was just all excited about it. So it was cool to see.
Bowhunters Unite.
Yeah, exactly. We were in New York, so it was kind of crazy because I was like, "Oh, where did he find that?" And now you start to see it.
Here.
It's like when you buy a red car, right? You buy a red car and you're like, nobody has a red car. Then you buy a red car and everybody has a red car. So like you pay attention to that and you saw it. And that's not the first, because there was another one. Where else did I see one? Oh, it was at the Springfield show. Somebody else had a Bowhunters United hat, and I was like, oh.
You don't notice it till you know what it is, and as soon as you see it, you like spot it a mile away.
That is, yeah. That absolutely is it. I want to.
Yeah. So.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, please.
Funny story. We were at this past ATA show. We had a Bowhunters United booth there, and I was selling memberships there for the 3 days. And I had 2 gentlemen come up and get memberships. Well, it was the end of the show, and Morel Targets was getting rid of a lot of their inventory, so they didn't have to ship it back home. So they were kind of just selling items to retailers and things like that. Well, these 2 gentlemen, they like to give me trouble. So they were giving me trouble, and they had bought all these targets, but their car was just like miles away, and it was just going to be a pain in the butt to get them there. Well, he came up to me and he said, "What kind of Bowhunters United is this? You're not going to help me get all these targets to my car?" Well, 6 of us ATA staff members were like, "Come on, let's go." Picked up all the targets and made our way to his truck. And he was like, "Thank you guys so much. I did not think you guys would do that." But we're like, "Yeah, Bowhunters Unite. Let's go."
See that?
That's
the service you get with Bowhunters United. I'm going to call you when I shoot a deer next year and have you come get it out of the woods for me.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
Bowhunters Unite.
I got the butcher skills, so let's go.
That's right.
Actually, it's funny. So my question I was going to ask was your butchering skills. Like, I wanted to honestly know. So I come from a long line of butchers. I've been butchering my entire life. This is what I did for a very long time, still to this day. But like, so were you like an inspector side, or were you were actually like down and dirty, skinning, cutting deer and meat?
Oh yeah, down and dirty.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so my godparents had a plant, like really close to our house. And so I kind of started with like, we did beef, hogs, lambs, and then we did deer season. We'd taken like 800 deer per season. Wow. It was just crazy. But like I started like on, the beef and pork and lamb side of like, wrapping meat. And then I kind of like started to dabble in marketing. So that's kind of why I'm here today. But then once I was old enough to hold a knife at, I guess, like 17, 18, then I really got to like dig deep into, like I would start butchering and, carrying carcasses. And then deer season, I was the only girl on the kill floor. So like skinning and all that fun stuff. So
that's awesome. And the reason I say that is because it's such a dying thing for our generation. Like, you don't see a lot of butchers. Right. And like, I know like here, like some of the federal grants and stuff for butcher shops here are just like insane. Like, I was in the process of potentially opening up my own slaughterhouse here because there is no more of it. And a lot of us as outdoorsmen, like even like a deer hunter, a lot of them don't even understand what it takes to break down their own animal or even skin it properly and stuff. So when you had said that, I was like, go, because I was like, there's not a lot of people that know it or understand a lot of that stuff. I mean, I know out west it's a little bit more, but but still,
I mostly like to do archery just because it's a little bit warmer and I don't have to do the cold and things like that. But like, I'm also a gun hunter as well. But like, the thing I realized with like the gun hunters, like all the archery guys, like, we're pretty good at like bringing their deer in and, you know, like field dressing it properly and things like that. Well, in Missouri, when youth season rolled around for firearms, it was all these guys coming in and they would have their kid with them. And they're like, can I pay you an extra $25 to field dress my deer? And I'm like, I'll show you how to do it, but you need to learn how to do it, man. Like, you can't just like go out and shoot an animal and then not know what to do with it. Like, you gotta have a game plan. So, but yeah, it was interesting. A lot of guys would look in on the kill forum and be like, what's wrong with that girl? How is she doing that?
but when you're born and raised around it, it's just second nature. Like, it's just a normal thing. Like, I say that a ton about, you know, like slaughtering hogs and stuff. And guys would be like, how do you do that? And I'm like, it's just second nature. It's no different than you tying your shoes to me, because it's just life. It's the way that it is.
Well, we talk about it a lot lately because everything gets so advanced with like content creators. So like when you go on YouTube, something that interests you, like mobile hunting or saddle hunting or all these advanced things, are like reading buck sign and how to kill big bucks. But there's not a lot of videos out there on how to field dress a deer. Like everybody wants like all like the cool stuff, but a lot of the very basic stuff is overlooked. And we forget that there's people out there that are just starting or they're self-taught and they don't know the little things that a lot of us people that have been doing it for a long time overlook because we take it for granted. Right.
And, you know, rolling back to Bowhunters United, one of the also big perks is that we come out with those articles like 2 to 3 a week, and we kind of explain those things for some that don't know and like teach them. And so like, I by no means am an excellent bow hunter or excellent in this field, but I have learned so much by just reading our articles, whether it be about like hunting out west. I've never done that before, so I can read about it. And, you know, field dressing, I've been lucky enough that I still have that connection with my you know, processing plants. So I can go in there and like record like, oh, this is what's happening to your deer after you drop it off at the processor. So that's a big thing that we do that I feel like gets overlooked with Bowhunters United. And I think it's a really great member benefit.
I think the educational part is huge. I mean, and having that connection to be able to do such a thing. And like the same with us, like we're trying to bring it back to those basics, like, and do those things like, just like that, where they can go on there and read the stuff from Bowhunters United, how to field dress, how to, you know, I like even like tracking and this and that. Like we're about to record this weekend on some, you know, just property maintenance type stuff, like your hunting property maintenance, like, you know, how to prune a tree, how to do this, how to do that, how to properly prune in a bedding area, and so on and so forth. Because I think the educational side is getting lost, and I say it all the time, social media has kind of ruined that for people, where when they go on to some of these forums and they ask a question like, you know, can somebody help me or talk me through how to field dress a deer? And they just get totally belittled and get treated like crap.
Yeah. The one that bothers me the most is when somebody posts on social media looking for a processor or a butcher, and you get all the guys, oh, why don't you just do it yourself? Why don't you learn how to do it yourself? I don't see anybody offering
to teach them.
Yeah. All you do is tell them, do it yourself, you know, and it's like, come on, like, come on, be a man.
And is that some of the things?
Sorry.
Don't bring Boston be a man into this right now. Don't.
That's me.
But those are some of the things that you guys obviously offer as some of the educational things for those people that want to be able to read those things.
Right. So connecting to like where we are now, we're doing a lot of informative things on, you know, shed hunting and turkey hunting. Like a lot of our deer hunters are transitioning to turkey season. So we're covering that. And then, kind of trying to give bow fishing a shot too. Like, letting people know, like, hey, even though it's not the season for hunting things, like, you can still go on vacation or go to the coast and, try out bow fishing. Like, it's just another extension of archery. And we really want to let people know that. But that's kind of like the topics we're covering right now. It's like very seasonal. And then, prepping your food plots and getting ready for things like that. So,
yeah, and that's kind of those things that we were talking about
Right.
too. So when you become a member, is there an online basis to the newsletter also, or is it like to get mailed it or?
So the e-newsletter, the monthly newsletter, it is emailed to our members, and then it's also published under our press room. So all the e-newsletters are mostly sent to you in two different ways. We do not post it on social media or anything like that because it is a member benefit and only members get it. But basically what that kind of e-newsletter has is the top 3 tips and tactics in bow hunting right now. We have industry updates, so all of our ATA connections. So like we just did an industry update of like a Finland study of how archery hunting over there is just as effective as gun hunting. So we cover things like that. All of our member benefits. So like calling out rebates and discounts and things that you can redeem and, buy more gear to add to your collection, and featured videos and and advocacy stuff. Lots of advocacy stuff in there on kind of what's happening and how you can take action if you missed your action alert.
That's awesome. I like what you're talking about with the overseas stuff too, and how the archery is so important to those places, because Russia's like that. You can't archery hunt in Russia.
Right.
Is one of those states. And like a lot of people don't realize that some states like Africa, for example, you have to have like certain grains, and it was only not that long ago that you couldn't even archery hunt there.
Yeah.
But it's almost like one and the same. So it's kind of cool that you touch on that, honestly, because people don't know that.
Yeah. And one of the like big initiatives of ATA this year is our advocacy guys, and then also our education and outreach team. They've been working on all of the different regulations for all of the 50 states, because that's just a beast of its own on how many different rules and laws and regulations are out there for each state. So we are going through and breaking down like, this is what the rules and regulations are here, here, and here. So we're really excited about that. And we're really excited to touch base on that with Bowhunters United.
So then you would be able to like go to like your website or something and see that like each state. So like if I was to go to, say for example, if we were to go to Missouri, there would be a section in there that says like Missouri's archery differentiates
all the
from
rules.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's insane. That's so cool, because that's one of the hardest things when you go to travel hunt. Like when you're in a certain state. So like even in New England, like here, right? So in Connecticut, for example, there's no minimum distance from a dwelling
For bow hunting.
But then if I go to Massachusetts, I have to be 150 yards away from any dwelling. And like if you didn't know that, because like I wouldn't think of that, and then you would go there and you would hunt there, so that would be like one of the things that would be in some of those rules that you would have that you're making.
Yes.
That's so cool. I do like that. I really do.
Yeah, that's the most intimidating thing about going out of state, because you don't think about laws because they're just ingrained in your head in your home state, and then you could easily cross a state line and get jammed up on a law that doesn't even make sense to you in your home state.
Right.
That's so cool. Is there anything else that we're kind of missing that you might want to touch on as far as the Bowhunters United goes?
I don't think so. I think that bow hunters should definitely consider joining Bowhunters United, because, we want to protect and preserve our bow hunting heritage. And if you have little ones at home or family members, you want to protect and preserve it for future generations to come. So I think we just all need to band together and create an everlasting impact for not only bow hunting, but the archery industry as a whole too.
Absolutely. Well, we'll get away from business for 2 seconds, but can you tell me one of your most memorable hunts that you've been on?
Oh, Okay, so my most memorable hunt was I have always been a daddy's girl. I was always the tomboy out of my three sisters. And so, of course, what I wanted to do was go bear hunting because I had already gone turkey hunting and whitetail hunting and dove hunting with my dad. And so, my dad has been going to Manitoba, Canada for years. And so, I begged and begged and begged to go. So, my parents gifted me for my high school graduation. I graduated at like 7 that night. The next morning at 4 in the morning, we took off for Canada, a 21-hour drive from Missouri. And so we went to Canada on my first bear hunt. I had a crossbow at the time. I'm actually planning to go there in October and use my compound, so I'm really excited. But it was my first bear hunt. The landscape and just how the woods like are made up over there is like totally different from Missouri woodlands. So that was really cool. But I remember I had a cinnamon bear come in front of me, which they don't have very many cinnamon bears where I was hunting at. And so I kind of just like got this golden egg of an opportunity. And this cinnamon bear came out in front of me. I had my bow up ready to shoot. And then my dad's, his pocket knife fell out of the tree stand and clanked down each step. And I looked at him like, oh my gosh, like, did that really just happen? If this bear gets spooked, like, I'm done, like, so mad. But I shot the bear before it could go anywhere. And it was just like a really memorable experience with my dad and just something that I've always enjoyed to look back on. So, yeah, that's kind of why I got into hunting, was because my dad, and it's just like a time for us to get away and, make some memories and bond.
That's so cool,
That's
though.
awesome.
Yeah, especially, you get it as a graduation present, and then
Yeah.
that's a once in a lifetime bear. I mean, you're especially,
Color phase.
yeah, color phase in Canada of
Yeah.
all places. How big was the bear? Not that
He was probably like 250.
a color phase at 250. That's giant.
That's a spring bear too.
Yeah, a spring bear too.
Or
Yeah.
summer.
So yeah, my parents' house, my dad's just been going forever because like whitetails and turkeys weren't enough. So he was like, okay, I'm gonna go black bear hunting. And then he like got on that. But we have 4 full bear mounts in my parents' house. And my mom's like, no more bears. Like, no more bears in the house. And then like the walls are just filled with whitetails. So yeah.
Is yours mounted in there too? With is it one of the 4?
No, it's still in the deep freeze, which I need to take it to the taxidermist to even see if they can do anything. But me and my husband are starting the process of building a house, so I need a bear for my own house.
That's
so.
right. That's so awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, to piggyback off of that, what drives you outdoors?
What drives me outdoors? Just having a connection to nature and enjoy spending time with family and friends.
I think that's the best way to be said, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And to just sit there in the quiet. And just one of my favorite things to do is watch the woods wake up and go to sleep. It's just so interesting. Like to get away from the house, or I live on a farm, but like get away from the house or town and things like that and just see kind of what's going on, where you aren't like, you're just a visitor. So that's what drives me outdoors.
I'd have to agree with you there because the spring, I look forward to turkey season for that because I think, and you've obviously turkey hunted, so like turkey hunting is one of those things that it's real special when things wake up in the spring for some reason. It's not like the fall.
It's way different.
It's way different. And you look forward to it, and it's like that kickoff to everything. The kickoff of the hunting season is turkey season. Like, so like when it all comes together and you watch the world come alive, I don't think there's anything, I couldn't agree with you more, honestly.
watching the turkeys come down from the roost, it's like, oh yeah, it's game time. Let's go.
When that first one fires off, you know that you're alive. Honestly, you know you're alive when that first one fires off.
Physically impossible to not just straight cheese when you hear that first gobble. You're like, oh yeah.
I'm really pumped for turkey season. Not only like I said, I live on a farm, but at one of our farms, my father-in-law has been saying like 80 turkeys, like 2 groups of 40 out there. And so I'm like pumped. And then one of my coworkers, Aubrey, she's never turkey hunted, neither has her husband. So they're going to come down from Tennessee and we're going to see if we can get them a turkey.
That's awesome.
So
stay tuned on Bowhunters United. You might see a turkey on there that we shot.
That's awesome. Do you have Easterns, Merriam's, Rhea? What do you have in Missouri?
So
I don't know.
It's Eastern.
It's all Eastern.
pretty sure,
She's like, I don't know. They're turkeys.
Like, I
Pretty
didn't
sure
know
there's-
there was a choice.
Yeah. So like Kansas and stuff, they have Rios, and then they're like crosses, and then you have. So there's different. They're just subreeds of them. You know, and that's all it is. That's all. Some people like. I love that that you're like they're turkeys because in all honesty, like you enjoy it because what they are. You could care less about the breed and stuff. Some people like to Grand Slams. You have to kill a Rio, a Merriam, an Eastern, and an Osceola, which is your Grand Slam, and then you could do your Super Slam, which is the Oscillated, which is in Mexico. But like that's like people fight for that, right? Well, they get the Grand Slam, and then people now are doing the Chasing 49, so they have to kill a turkey in all 49 states, which is just stupid. Just go shoot them. Just shoot them. Like just kill them all. That's what I say. They're turkeys. Just kill them all.
God.
So. Well, Aimie, we really appreciate you joining us. We really appreciate you partnering with us. We're looking forward to the future of what this partnership has to hold in the future and what we can do for Bowhunters United and the people of Bowhunters United to kind of get the word out there and kind of keep this lifestyle alive, honestly.
For sure. Yeah. Thank you guys for partnering with us and, having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we're looking forward to being at ATA too. That's so we can see everybody and meet everybody and so on and so forth. So thanks again, Aimie. We really appreciate it. And for everyone else, get out there and get your subscription to Bowhunters United. And thanks for taking the ride right here on the Outdoor Drive.